Previously on the roster.
I mean, dude, that attitude has gotten him in trouble in the past, but I kind of like that.
The attitude thing, man, it's one of those things. Some people like it, some don't. You know, it's something I've had since I was 16 when I started playing at the top level. It's something I feel like I need to control. You know, especially being 23 now. You know, I can't just say, oh, I'm a kid anymore, just hothead. But
I got that idea in the back of my head that maybe they were trying to get me out.
We knew he had a bit of a head case problem, and we've been trying to work with him and get his confidence up. I mean, we've tried to beat him down, we've tried to pick him up, we've tried everything short of just whipping his out there.
So we're still comfortable in our comfort zone thinking that they've scored their point, that they're done. And they started coming back and punching us in the face, and we didn't have an answer for that.
If I were to put him in and we wound up getting relegated by 1 point, I don't think I'd ever be able to live with myself.
I honestly felt like I was getting replaced.
That kid, I was blown away because of how young he was.
At this stage, I want to win more tournaments and I want to win more championships.
I'm not a dictatorship. We discuss things and work them out. We bring it to the table, we squash it.
This weekend, he's played well enough to go. He was playing with you, you're like, that sucks, I hate him.
No, I did not say that. I laughed at Ryan and I said, yeah, I see what you did there, Ronnie.
We are going by what they do here, man.
Exactly, and came out here as a pro player and on everybody out here.
There are few places more quintessentially Southern California than Huntington Beach. Since the 1980s, skate, surf, and punk rock music have meshed together here to create the core DNA of action sports culture. Since 2003, professional paintball has had the opportunity to share the sand and the stage with their action sports cousins once a year, competing for the prestigious Surf City Open Championship right at Huntington Beach Pier. The tournament is a week away. Right now, San Antonio X Factor coach Ryan Brand has called a meeting with captains Archie Montemayor and Grayson Goff to discuss the team's lineup for the event. The format for the Surf City Open tournament is different from the PSP Series events, so the team doesn't need to take its full roster. What X Factor does need, after a poor showing at PSP event number 1 2 weeks ago in Dallas, is a strong showing in California.
I mean, dude, we cannot go with more than 8 people playing.
Yeah.
Like, we tried that at Vegas last year, and that whack.
I feel like 7, you kind of got to get a groove. The games go quick. There's only so many points sometimes.
I agree.
So
It's just like the overseas. You 5 points, race to 5. Those first 2 points are huge.
After the poor showing at the Dallas event, there was a lot of concern on what we were going to do for Huntington Beach, and knowing that we had to come out and make a statement. And going into HP, we knew that we really wanted to turn some heads and show that we're here to play.
I mean, I'm assuming Grayson, Colt, me going in there. That's 5. So now we're looking at 4 more dudes.
I feel like Alex is gonna.
Alex
he
is
plays
good, so
strongest in 7-man.
Yeah.
Billy obviously missed the first event, but he's a guy I think we need to bring back in and get him going. So by the time the next PSP, he's played
ready to go
tournament with us rather than missing the first 2 events.
Agree with that.
Well, and he played so well last year.
And he played great 7-man last year.
Yeah.
Although we're back to small bunkers in 7-man as well.
Oh, that's
on the
right,
same side,
yeah.
so we'll see if that still hampers him or not. But
Yeah.
I think we
certainly
need to
deserves a
Billy.
shot, that's for
I
sure.
spoke with Billy because our scheduled practice with the Warped Army is Easter weekend. At first he was pretty like, I can't do Easter with my family. And I told him, I said, hey, I understand that, but I'll put it this way. Scott and Zach are coming that weekend, our line is going to be determined that weekend, and he said, all right, I'm going to do everything I can.
Yeah,
So,
well, good. That's honestly what he needed to say,
Yeah.
because, like, dude, we haven't seen him in 4 months now.
Yeah.
5 months almost, yeah. So.
Star Snake player Billy Bernaccia will be making his return to the lineup in HB. This is good news for the team. But for front player Jesse Stevens, who secured the last roster spot coming out of the preseason, it's the opposite.
And there's not a super strong center for Jesse on this field. Maybe Jesse sits this one out.
The decision to not bring Jesse to Huntington Beach, it really came down to his role as a player. Last year, there was some good fields for Jesse to go up to center and cause some serious havoc.
I almost look at Meter kind of taking Jesse's role right now. The way Meter's playing,
Yeah.
we can send him
Pretty much
to snake. We can send him up the center. We can send him far on the Drita sides. We can, Zach and Billy are more snake oriented.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
Meter, we can throw. He's kind of that guy. He can be our missile if we want to do something crazy.
Yeah.
Jesse, he's a snake guy. That's where he primarily does the best. In practice, Zach and Billy both outplayed him, and we decided to go with our top 8.
Stevens had very few spins at PSP Dallas, very few chances to prove himself. An emotional young player, he hasn't been very good at hiding his displeasure with the lack of playing time. Not surprisingly, Stevens hasn't made much ground gaining respect from the team's leaders either.
He's got a sense of entitlement, and it sucks because until he gets through that himself, I mean, nobody, I don't know, man. I grew up in a different era in paintball, and realistically, we've got like 7 that play most of the points. So what happens is you get 4 guys that aren't even really seeing playing time. And the other thing is, and actually this is certainly didn't go towards Jesse's cause, but at the last tournament, he had a really shitty attitude in the pit, and that's why I was saying that self-entitlement, it's only gonna hurt him, in the long run. I think one point I came off, I asked him to get me air, and he kind of grabbed my gun out of my hands with an attitude. And meanwhile, I'm playing like almost every point, so I'm like gassed. And he just kind of yanked it out of my hands, and I'm like almost falling over. And I'm like, dude, what's your problem? You don't. Or I just said, don't give me attitude, And he's like, dude, I'm doing you a favor. And I'm like, man, you're out of your rocker. You're a part of the team, man. And if you're not playing, sack up and don't be a.
Jesse took not being brought to HB. He did it okay. He took it okay. I think it's a little bit easier for him because there was 11 of us and we only took 8, so he wasn't the only person being left out.
We're running into that problem that we've been wanting to have for a long time. It's just too many good front dudes. We've probably never had it, and it's just one of those things. I mean, we're gonna take the best guys.
The other player that we've decided not to bring to Huntington Beach is Todd Morrow. This was the toughest decision for us.
Scott.
And I think
Scott's been playing really, really well too. So it's
him and Colt on the Drudo side, especially this past weekend, was
So that's Scott's 8.
Scott's 8, yeah.
So now we got
Dixon, Todd.
Todd is a much better. He is one of our best players if there's a snake corner on that field that's playable. But where we ran into trouble last year was not being able to get out there.
Todd's one of those guys, if we get him out to the snake corner, we're confident he can take down anybody in the league. There wasn't a strong snake corner there. There just wasn't. It was a very up the field type field. They just really wanted people to push and go forward. We're going to go away from Todd for this event.
I feel like it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. We really had the same problem since 2007, where we had way too many guys that could roster. We'd have 4 guys sitting on the bench that could play on other pro teams.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, that's when we were winning tournaments.
Respect everybody. We play with a high level of intensity, smartness, control, communication, dominance. Hey, look, today we have not got shot out of the bucket. All right, you know what that means? They have to beat us off the break.
Since Friday, we have not lost a point. Let's continue that, baby. Go now, come on. Expect the people.
Come on. Hey, guys, one more round. We got one team in our way between first place. All right.
Guess what? Hey, this is the only game that matters all weekend. This is the one. Let's go. Come on, Axel. Feel it, baby.
No, we're fine. Nobody's really slowing us down once we sign our bump.
We look at the field layout for this event and there's a very long snake. And we really think we can get Billy and Zach in there together. Two very strong snake players. I think it's going to be a huge advantage for us.
That was one of those tournaments that, you know, everybody wants to say they won at Huntington Beach.
For me, winning HB was awesome. I do feel a part of Texas, minus the terrible accents, but I really like playing for Alex. I get along with him great. So winning for him and seeing his face afterwards is a really great feeling.
Winning, you know, with my brothers. The X Factor is my family, and probably never play with anyone else. If I can't play with them, then we're hanging up the jersey.
It's the middle of June now, and X Factor is preparing for PSP event number 3, the Chicago Open. The team has yet to parlay their success from Huntington Beach into gold in the PSP series. With all the off-season acquisitions, the pressure is on. X Factor needs to come to Chicago and make an impression. They'll start the tournament with an opportunity to do just that. X Factor opens the prelims with a match against San Diego Dynasty, winners of PSP event number 1 and number 2.
All right, everybody drop your knee and pull it tight. You gotta believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, okay, nothing can stop you. If you know you're better than the other guy on the other side, that's all that counts.
That's exactly right.
Okay, it's as simple as that. It's all will. You are the best, and you gotta believe it. If you can't step on that field believing that, then step off the field. Hey, you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best, and right now they are. Okay, hey, dig deep.
Hey, smart control paintball. Let's stay out of the box.
All right, number 1, this match is over. Put it behind you, forget about it. No second guessing, we move on to the next one. The only thing that we have any control over is the next 3 matches we play. We're done with that one. Number 2, we got in trouble in the middle of that match because we lost our composure. The only difference between us and Dynasty in that match was that when they got down, they stayed with the plan, they played smart, aggressive, intense paintball in the moment, all right? We let the situation carry us away a little bit before we were able to pull it back. We can play exactly the same way we did to start the match, but what you've got to keep in mind is every point after it's over, all right? We carry lost points along with us, and we can't carry those on our backs and win new ones. Right? You've got to let go, and you've got to stay positive. I don't want to hear any more screaming in the pit. I don't want any more I don't even want any more apologies. We screw up, we make a mistake, we move on, we'll deal with it later, but when we're playing that match, we stay positive and we go out there and we win or we lose as a team, all right?
Paul Richards' words are falling on deaf ears. X Factor is lugging around their mistakes like the proverbial monkey on their back. With each match, it grows bigger and more menacing. For one player in particular, it's intensifying.
Oliver came to bunker me, I came up, he shot me, I kept shooting when he ran by, just stupid. And, that really put us into a bad place.
Good vibes previously exuded from Zach Wake appear to be left on the beach in California, and his on-field personal demons are starting to rear their ugly heads again. In one swift moment, it all bursts into flames.
Good shot by Damian Ryan over the top.
And here's gonna come Zach Wake.
Oh, major penalty on somebody.
Zach Wake looked like he shot from the box.
I couldn't see the clock. The ref told me he was going to tell me when to go. He said 5 seconds. I thought he said go. It came out, shot, came back. It was a mess.
I think that's why they threw the major on him.
One of those things in the heat of the moment. I can't. It's no excuse. It was me messing up, complete slip up on my part. But in the heat of the moment, I see Damian running. He's shooting back at a guy in the Dorito. He's running directly at me. And the guy says 10. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna come out and smoke him down. He's not even looking at me. And he says 5, and I just come up real quick. I'm like, oh. And it wasn't good.
Looked like he was almost playing that bunker. So
well, yeah, I mean, come on, Zach.
It was an embarrassing thing to happen, but you just got to take it in stride.
X Factor goes on to blow the 4-0 lead over Infamous and lose the match. They blow leads and lose their next 2 matches, going winless in the prelims. Wake isn't the only penalty machine. The team accrues a dozen penalties in the prelims and a half dozen majors en route to losing every game. 3 of the majors are on Wake.
Saturday night, they didn't call me in there to get on me or anything. I wanted to go in there, and I asked if they would sit down with me and let me explain. And
no, Dan, not this time. Sorry.
There was no excuses. I couldn't say, oh, well, I didn't deserve this or that shouldn't have happened. It was just I sat down. I was honest. I was like, man, I'm not trying to do these things. I'm not trying to hurt the team. I'm not trying to continuously bring a negative, bring something negative to the team that doesn't need to be there.
On Sunday, X Factor pulls out a win over the Toulouse Tendons to avoid relegation and maintain their spot in the PSP Champions division. But the team is moving in the wrong direction. X Factor is about to do something it's never done before. Zach Wake has been cut.
A couple weeks went by, he gave me a call. It was a Sunday afternoon. I think it was 2 weeks before the Riverside tournament. And he gave me a call, left me a voicemail, let me know that I wasn't going to be coming and that, everything was still cool between us. It's a business,
I don't like saying the word business as a team because it is a team and I respect all their opinions and everything, but I have the final say.
That was bad. That's the first time I've ever really been left without a team, just been cut right in the middle of a year from a team. And it hurt. It was embarrassing at the same time as I was just really down, man. I've played paintball for so long that it was just like, it sucks, there was nothing good going on. So I thought about not playing anymore, and then I really realized that I couldn't walk away from this game with the reputation that I had developed for myself. I think quite a few people would agree, I have a very high level of potential.
We had some small issues on the field, but as a person, honestly, they're just unbelievable people. Him and his dad, Dan, they're great people.
I'd like to thank Alex Martinez. He was a good guy. He had my back. He knew that I was a hothead. He knew that I'd had penalty issues, but he tried to work with me on it. He would pull me aside. I'd get mad or this frustrated and he could tell. He'd look at me. He could tell I was getting frustrated and. He'd pull me aside and be like, just calm down, man. He really tried to help me work through those things, and I really appreciate that. He was a really good guy, and I'm glad, even though things didn't work out with us team-wise, I'm glad that I can still call him one of my friends.
Front player Jesse Stevens fills Wake's spot at PSP event number 4. Again, getting minimal spins. It's decided that for both Stevens' evolution as a player and the team's performance, that Jesse needs to find a home with an amateur team.
I feel like if Jesse can really just focus on what's in front of him and not let outside factors affect him, that he might be able to be the player he wants to be and we want him to be.
It's now October, and only paintball's greatest stage remains, the PSP World Cup. X Factor comes to the event with a bare bones core roster of 9 players, and amazing things start to happen. The team trounces Tampa Bay Damage, Coach Paul Richards' former team, in the prelims and squeak into the Final Four on Sunday.
Towards the end of this year, and this event especially, in the pits, it's been a lot more calm. I think Paul's helped out of being something that everyone can kind of get around and look to, and he can keep players calm when I'm out there trying to write up the plays and call the plays. At the same time, I think the main thing in the pits, what happened to us before, is players, they didn't have enough respect for each other maybe, or they didn't believe, and so when they were getting shot out, they would come in, they would start coming at someone else, going for someone else's throat. You can't have that, We got 9 guys on this team right now, and every single person has to contribute. If not everyone out there is out there playing to their best, we're not going to win.
Apparently I got shot off the break in the hand. What the ref said, we're out there busting our asses. I know everybody is. Adrenaline's pumping. I come in, I'm asking for a check because I see the ref running over. He ends up throwing a red flag.
See, I didn't even know Billy got the major in the game. Because I was in there tight and my back was to him, so I didn't even know we got a major. I just thought we lost Billy and Dixon. And then when I walked out, I was like, oh.
One thing we really talked about was taking penalties as an opportunity.
Hey, now's the true test, boys.
You can win 4-on-5s. Dynasty does it all the time.
Hats off to Rusty Glaze from Dynasty, man. He actually, what a good dude and friend. He contacted us a couple weeks before the tournament, and he was like, hey, dude, I really think you guys need to work on a couple things, have faith in your guys, and in the penalties, not get down on each other, and really go out there to win those points instead of just blowing the clock, burning the time. And we, it's kind of an odd thing because for us, it's always been let's get a strong breakout, get our guy out of the box. And Rusty's saying, no, that, man. Get a strong breakout and win the point, change the momentum.
Who got a major?
Billy. We actually kind of had a ballsy call by our coach. He wanted to go up the center of the field, and I doubted him. He called the play, and I was like,
call the line.
Grayson, Scott, Dixon, Archie, Billy.
Call Nathan down.
I really wanted to go up the center and try to even it up. Archie was the guy that
He wasn't okay with the play, but that's the play that worked for us against Aftershock. I was like, man, are you sure, Ryan? Like, he wanted me to stop short too because we're going up the center. And I was like, man, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, we're doing this play. This is gonna work. We shot him off the break. Colt and I, both our guns were there off the break. And then Colt actually got shot off the break too. So at that point we were 3-on-4. And they tried to immediately fill. I shot that guy. And I went out there and did the play, and we got 2 kills like within the first 20 seconds of the point, man. It was huge. And then we were able to get Billy out alive. And then I guess they didn't see that, they didn't know we had shot 2 guys on one side. They went up to the X.
That play had been working well for us. We'd been in the box before this tournament like usual, and we knew that was the play that was going to give us the best shot to try to turn that point around. We had to win that point, you know. Obviously at that point, 6-6.
All right, now what I want you to do, next couple of hours, stay out of the sun, drink a lot, stay cool, relax, because it's going to come, but it's not coming until the end of the day.
Do we know what time yet or no?
It's the last game of the day.
Stay focused and stay together.
All right? And like we said, this one's just a stepping stone. The one that matters, the one that's going to bring us home, is the next one we play. All right, boys, bring it in.
San Antonio X Factor looks across the field at fellow Planet Eclipse team Edmonton Impact, a team who beat them down in the prelims 7-2, and understand that there's only one obstacle left between themselves and realizing a dream 10 years in the making.
Actually, it was 2003. We lost every match. How's that? Hey, it's been 10 years.
Winning this one would seal my career in paintball.
If they won the World Cup, I've never been. This is my very first time in 9 years. All of us girls are so excited.
You are being filled.
I can't even think about that right now. I mean, it would be, obviously this is the one tournament everyone wants to win. We haven't won a World Cup. We haven't won a PSP event in a long time. I mean, just all those coming together for this one opportunity is what I'm trying to grip my head around right now, so.
Yeah, baby.
You're in the finish?
45.
Yeah. 45.
Is going to take the win.
An amazing job by San Antonio X Factor as they take the victory. What an amazing story. X Factor underperformed all year long, but hey, you can come to World Cup and completely redeem yourself and define your year, and that is exactly what we just saw.
Thanks for all your help, Jeff.
We won fantasy.
Good job.
This is an awesome job.
Good job.
What it was about. This is what we always did. Yeah, touch! Yeah, touch!
Can I get some water, please?
Want to see more from this season of the roster with San Antonio X Factor? Access bonus content, the Vimeo On Demand Season Pass at planeteclipse.com.
You can't do the whole like I'm going to retire now because I'm on World Cup. Okay? I got to go one more. Well done, man.
Visit us on Facebook and discuss which Planet Eclipse team should be featured in the next season of the roster.
Save those, and then I'm gonna pre-pop out and take the check away. Go ahead and let you spray the crap out of it. Okay. Just spray the crap out of each other, not the cameraman. Really like their equipment.
Where's California? Where's Muscles?